We are
Perfect.
live
Looks
and
like,
now.
yeah, we're live now. Welcome everyone to the Fraxtal Hackathon opening ceremony. Super excited to be able to do this with Frax again. And excited for all of you to hear what Frax has been up to, what the Fraxtal chain is about. Frax has launched the modular rollup called Fraxtal, and we are very happy and glad to invite all the hackers to build different dApps on it, L3s that settled on Fraxtal, infra dApps, and more innovative dApps, whatever you can think of, basically. Um, the prize pool of the hackathon is 350K USD. We kicked off the hackathon on 13th May. Very excited about it. Like I said, we're 25 days and counting till the closing of the submission portal. And we also have Sam with us today. Sam, welcome to the opening ceremony. We're excited to see what you have for the devs and talk more about the three tracks that we have. And I also see that apart from the hackathon prize pool, we also have a lot of extended support and resources for the developers. So I'll give it on to you to talk now, and then I'll later take everyone through the submission portal. On to you, Sam.
Hey, yeah, thank you for having me. Frax is super excited to do a second hackathon with Dora Hacks after the successful one last year. This is a really special one because the biggest event in terms of anything Frax has put on. This is the Fraxtal build on the Fractal Hackathon, and I'm just going to do a short presentation about the three tracks and a little bit of info about the Fraxtal chain itself for anyone that's building on the Fraxtal. First of all, Fraxtal is a modular rollup, so it is a op stack rollup with a few changes, but with 99% of the familiarity that devs can be sure of and that are familiar with. For example, the op stack execution environment is something that you can just deploy your applications using Hard Hat, Foundry, everything that everyone has come to know on Ethereum. It is a super chain, which means that we are compatible with Optimism Labs, a super chain collective of blockchains, which includes Base, the Op mainnet, other ones that are coming, Mode, Zora. These are all part of the super chain along with Fraxtal. So if you build something that uses the op stack specifically, you're actually not only could you win the hackathon, but you're entitled to Optimism retroactive public goods funding. You can apply for those things. Everything that the op system actually is giving in terms of grants, you also apply for those, and there might actually be additional prizes announced in the coming days in those areas as well, potentially. So be on the lookout for that. Now, the second part is the settlement layer. In terms of what we want to see with Fraxtal, like Base, like Ethereum itself, our goal is to build a very vibrant ecosystem and have a L3 layer of application-specific chains, things like perp chains, things that we like to see specifically at Frax is like a stablecoin payments chain that's high throughput, privacy chains, and also we have in terms of the actual tech stack, data availability that is functional with multiple places. So if you launch an L3 rollup, for example, you can use like NearDA, Celestia, or Ethereum. And so let's go over super quickly the three tracks themselves. There's been some questions in terms of what developers are building, how they're actually categorized. So we have three specific tracks, and they all have prizes, and they're are called the on-chain applications, off-chain applications, and layer threes that I was specifically talking about. The on-chain applications are pretty simple in terms of what is defined as it. It's anything that has essentially smart contracts and that you deploy on Fraxtal mainnet. This is what everyone knows in terms of apps. 80%, I assume, of the entries will likely be on-chain applications. They're things that we also want to see really badly, like DeFi, perps, AMMs, lending, RWA assets or platforms, community or DAO tools like, launch your own token, manage a treasury, things that are cool recently, like, pump.fun meme, tools to launch and manage liquidity of token launches. Other things specifically with Frax, like issuing assets that are, perhaps backed by the Frax dollar peg stablecoin, Frax Ether, our LSD system, or other Frax assets. Frax does issue stablecoins and LSDs. Frax Finance is a DeFi platform. So for people that are building on Fraxtal, they can additionally use different parts of the Frax ecosystem, not just deploy on the chain as well. Off-chain applications, this is pretty obvious. The reason for this track is because people that are building something like a Fraxtal wallet, for example, like the mobile wallets that you see for like Coinbase wallet and Uniswap's wallet, if people are building something like that, it would be a little bit tough to judge that compared directly to something like an on-chain DeFi protocol. So that has its own track. So if you're building something off-chain, whether it's like a web wallet, a web DeFi, position saver, something specific to Frax itself, chain infrastructure, indexing, all these things. This is its own separate track. So that's the only time you would pick this one specifically, the off-chain applications that we would like to see a lot of, ecosystem applications that aren't just a protocol. They're basically things that connect to the chain, so to speak. And as I was just saying before, layer threes, this is a very new area. So what layer threes are for people that, just have learned about layer twos and everything, there's rollup as a service providers. That's what RAAS stands for, that are helping people deploy rollups. But recently, additionally, the chains like Base, like Arbitrum and Optimism itself, allows basically through these rollup service providers to deploy a layer three, basically a blockchain that's even more performant than essentially a layer two, but that actually has its settlement contracts on a layer two. So like on Fraxtal, for example. We want to see people try to build L3s using rollup as service providers and specifically our partner Anchor. There's other partners as well coming online. We're discussing with other ones as well, but anyone that you decide to deploy your L3 to, things that are interesting in terms of being their own chain for the Frax ecosystem could be things like a rollup that takes in Frax stablecoins and has, for example, privacy feature. So you can send people stablecoins privately at very fast throughput, very low gas costs or near zero gas costs, for example. And so like that could be something, payment systems are integrating at the point of sale. There's a lot of stuff. Perp dexes are a very well-known one, right? They have their own chain and you can trade on them and there's very fast transactions, very low cost. We just want to see people experiment in this category. There probably, won't be too many unless people have very clear idea on how to actually build a chain on Fraxtal that's a layer three there. But we definitely wanted to encourage this. We wanted to show that we're thinking about Fraxtal as a fractal in terms of scaling. There's a layer one, layer two, which is what Fraxtal is, layer three chains, and then in the long term, perhaps layer fours and so on. So this is a quick slide just showing, for example, if people are interested in launching L3s, everyone else knows what off-chain and on-chain applications are. Ideas for these, like I was saying, are like payment plus privacy chains, perpetual DEX chains, social fi or GameFi chains, right? Like if you're trying to create something new like Farcaster or like Lens or something like that, what you could do is you can experiment with it being its own chain so that the posts are on your own chain. They're very, very cheap. The actual ability to hold the NFTs and everything are your own chain. And then, you bring the assets from Fraxtal that people can hold in there, like if they're yielding stable coins or if they're yielding Frax Ether. staked tokens and things like that. So this slide kind of shows a picture of Conduit, which is a different rollup as a service provider. We'll hopefully be working with them much more closely as well. So this is how easy it is to, for example, deploy your own L3 chain. So eventually what there will be is there will be a settlement option for Fraxtal, just like there is for Ethereum Base, Sora, and Mode. You can also already do this with Anchor, which is our actual current partner. So if you're interested in deploying an L3, I highly recommend you reach out to us and we can intro you to Anchor directly, or you can reach out to Anchor. They're very well known in the space. They run heavy infrastructure like RPCs. They have Anchor ETH and all this stuff. Give it a try. And what's interesting is one thing about Fraxtal is there is Fraxtal points for anyone that launches, popular smart contracts and everything. And there's additionally, as you were alluding to, there's 1 million in follow-on prizes for everything, for L3s, for the on-chain and off-chain applications, which are KPI based, in addition to the immediate 345K of judged prizes. And lastly, I just want to go over this unique feature of Fraxtal, which we call block space incentives, or flocks for short. One of the cool things in the way that we actually distribute Fraxtal points, which is the chain's native point system that might or might not be tokenized, which I can't fully announce right here on this day, but trust me, which I say it'll be a very, very cool system in the end, is that if you deploy any popular contract, the amount of gas used and the amount of popularity that your contract actually is used by in terms of the total gas network, the number of users and EOAs that interact with it, that actually gets crunched in this big algorithm we call the flocks block space incentives. And then every epoch, which is every week, the points are distributed not based on how much TVL necessarily a contract has, but how much popularity it has based on this algorithm that's transparent. There's a documentation for it. You can actually go and see how it is. And so one thing we say is that Fraxtal kind of has this EIP 1559 type of algorithm, but instead of for burning ETH, it's for actually rewarding Fraxtal points. So for people that are just learning about, EIP 1559 and how Ethereum works, is that there's an algorithm for calculating how much ETH is burned at every transaction in the Ethereum blockchain. But in Fraxtal, it's actually the opposite. There's an algorithm about how much Fraxtal points a contract should be earning based on this Flux algorithm. So this is just a little bit more information about how it works. You can think of it like the EIP 1559 mechanism for rewards rather than essentially for burning ETH. Basically, there's two ways to do this: earn by deploying popular contracts, whether your contracts are like a part of a protocol, something else, or even an L3 kind of portal contract that we were talking about. It all earns Fraxtal points. And then the other part is that there are different assets that your smart contracts or your own EOA can hold. So we call this the asset availability sampling list, which is basically every random block an EOA or a contracts account is queried for certain assets. And if they hold those assets proportional to how much they hold them, they will earn some amount of Fraxtal points compared to everyone else holding those assets as well. So basically, by deploying popular contracts and by holding assets, you will just randomly actually see your contract and your EOA earn Fraxtal points. It's actually very unique. It's a very automated and interesting system. And if you use FraxScan, for example, which is the block explorer for Fraxtal, you might even just looking at contracts, you might see they all have these Fraxtal points balances, which is exactly what that's for. The Fraxtal points actually are pushed on chain, even though those points are not transferable yet. There's no transfer function. every contract that has a balance, you'll actually see it on Frax, and you'll see it like a token, and it'll say Fraxtal points, and eventually those might be transferable. And I wanted to essentially end on this in terms of Fraxtal is a technology stack for long-term aligned communities and chains. People that already know about Frax itself, Frax Finance, know that we've been here for a very long time. And as developers, there's a lot of choices in where you can actually build. Fraxtal is unique in the sense that, you know, everyone that has seen some cycles, seen projects come and go, teams, you know, come and go and change. Fraxtal is very long-term oriented. You can think of us like Bitcoin and Ethereum as like a concept and a community. We'll be around. In fact, I don't know if there's other, you know, hackathons of like large chains where the founder themselves are here talking to builders and available 24/7. For example, I'm the founder. I'm the founder of Frax. I'm here. All of our team are here. In fact, I have all their names on the last slide here. They're around the Fraxtal Builders Telegram, and there's very few teams that are on the ground at all times, willing to talk with developers and build everything up together. And getting involved early is super important. So if that's cool with you in terms of getting involved early on a chain, on a community, and working with directly the actual founders of the network as, you know, equal team members, essentially, if that's something that sounds great and is rewarding, join us, build on the Fractal and build on Fraxtal mainnet. So this is just action items in terms of what someone can do. If you're right now hacking on the hackathon, one first thing you could do is you could also add your project to the public repo directory at frax.com/ecosystem. Make sure that, you know, your project, your logo, whatever you're building, shows up on the ecosystem tab as it's built out and shipped by you and your team. Reach out to us, you know, have your tokens in the asset sampling list once you plan to launch a token for your project, become a partner project as well. And obviously continue hacking, working on your hack. And the deadline for submissions is June 21st. So make sure to get those in. But, you know, we will have reminders and dates and timelines in the Fraxtal Builders Telegram, through our Twitter, through Dora Hacks' Twitter. And good luck, and hope to see you around in the Frax community. And thank you. See you on the Fraxtal Builders Telegram and online.
Thanks a lot, Sam. That was super helpful and super interested. We also have a question from the audience, and this is also something that you teased the folks a little about. Will there be post-hackathon support for the projects that want to go further?
Yes, definitely. In fact, so there's two types of prizes that you alluded to and that I alluded to as well during the presentation. The first is there's 345K of judge prizes that people immediately can earn. And then there are up to actually $5 million of what we call follow-on prizes or milestone prizes. And the reason for this structure and what that means is when people deploy their project on Fraxtal, or they, you know, they have an L3, or they have a, you know, Frax wallet or this off-chain service, if they're very serious about getting additional help and working with us as the project grows based on KPI metrics. So for you know, L3s and on-chain applications, we've actually listed the KPI metrics. It's TVL measured by, you know, reputable sites such as DeFi Llama and L2Beat. As you actually rise over the next couple months of your application, you actually qualify for, you know, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million of follow-on prizes if you hit those KPI metrics. And of course, we'll help you get there. And if you're really, really serious about making this project into something huge, you know, there's VCs that have backed Frax that are part of the judging panel. Like I said, I myself am everywhere. The founders of the team, you will be basically part of the Fraxtal team on the ground floor, just like us. And so we have all of the support that we're able to give you in terms of introductions to VCs, other mentors, directly working with other people on the team that have unique experience, either on the incentive side or the DeFi side, or the launching your L3 side, or building a application that uses Fraxtal and all this stuff. So it really depends on you in terms of as a team and as a builder, how far and how serious you want to take what you're building. So we're ready from the ground floor to take you with us on a journey.
Thanks a lot. And hopefully that question was from someone who really want to go miles with Frax. And like Sam said, super hands-on team would be there to support you from day one, along with all the ecosystem partners as well. So if you've been thinking of, getting on your building journey and making it big, this might be your sign to start. So, but with that, I will also love to take you, everyone who's watching, through a quick demo of how you can submit your project and what the hackathon page looks like. Obviously, this will also be up on YouTube, Binance Live, and Bilibili for when you want to watch it async in case you missed anything or you want to revisit. I'll just share my screen and then we can go through it. Perfect. So this is the Fraxtal Hackathon 2024 page on Dora Hacks. You go on the hackathon section, and then you can see all the hackathons running, and then go on to the Fraxtal Hackathon page. This is the details section, and details section is really what everything we just spoke about. The timeline, you will also have reminders on your notification tab on your email about these different timelines that we referred to. These are the 3 tracks that we just dived into: the Fraxtal mainnet dApps, Fraxtal off-chain apps, and the Fraxtal L3s. These are the hackathon ideas. Obviously, your dApp does not have to be limited to these ideas that are listed over here. You can be as creative and innovative as possible. But just in case, if you're stuck somewhere, if you want to build and you want some inspiration, feel free to come on here and see what these ideas entail for you. These are the resources. This is the builders Telegram channel, the documentation that you might want to dive in through before you start building. This is the block explorer that Sam just mentioned. This is the DeFi, the Frax Finance DeFi documentation. And this is how you can add your project once you're ready to the ecosystem page. This will also have some additional visibility within the Frax ecosystem. So really your place to go after you're ready with your project. This is the overall community channel where you can go. But anytime if you have any confusion about the hackathon, anywhere you're stuck, or any technical assistance that you want, feel free to go on to the Fraxtal Builders Telegram channel and ask the team or get in contact with the team over there. Like we also said that the judges and mentorship panel is beyond the Frax team as well. This is really all the ecosystem partners and VC partners they have. And as an addition to the prize pool, you will also have one-on-one meetings, intro and office hours with these folks, which is like we have Sam on the call. He'll be there to assist you throughout, from the Curve team, the Electric team, Multicoin team, Alliance DAO, Dragonfly, and so on. So this is really a all-star panel that we have over here. The second tab is about the prizes. So like we said, there is up to 5 million in total rewards. And the KPI is based on the TVL that your dApp is able to achieve. But for all the 3 main tracks that we spoke about, there would be 5 prizes each that would be distributed. And this is the breakdown of the prizes that would be distributed to all the 5 projects. This is the follow-on prizes. So, this is 1 million to a project that reaches 500 M in TVL. And then further for 500K for the project that reaches 250 M in TVL, 250K for the project that reaches 125 million in TVL. And this is, as reported by DeFi Yama and L2Beat respectively. This is for the L3 track that you have, and this is for the off-chain track. Keep in mind, these are the prizes that would be distributed after your dApp has reached certain KPI, certain TVL in KPIs. But these are the main prizes that would be distributed and the ones that we were talking about from the 350K prize pool. Yeah, these are also a few of the project eligibility criteria. Your project must be deployed on Fraxtal mainnet. You can definitely have more than one chain, but Fraxtal mainnet is one of the most important chain mainnet to be deployed on in order to be eligible for the project review. Some newly developed or unique feature must be only on Fraxtal launch. Again, you should have something that you're bringing to the table when you're deploying on Fraxtal mainnet. If a consumer app front end infra, it must have native support for Fraxtal mainnet. So yeah, we're really going beyond the vanilla projects, and we're asking for some innovation and some creativity in the kind of dApp you're building on Fraxtal. If the project has a token, the token must be natively issued on Fraxtal mainnet. Again, one of the core criteria that we have for you. If it is an L3, which is, if you're participating in the L3 track, the native bridge and settlement must be on Fraxtal. Deployment of the L3 with rollup as a service providers are encouraged. So you should definitely, keep an eye on this. If irrespective of whatever track that you are applying to, feel free to go through this async and make sure that your project ticks off all these requirements necessary. This is the submission guide, which I'll just take you through hands-on. But this is also always over there on the hackathon page, just in case you're not able to catch up to speed, or if you want to, just make sure later on. These are the hackers that are participating. So basically, when you click on register as a hacker, your name pops up here. This is the discussion tab. So basically, if you want to talk to other developers, if you want to just leave a comment over here about the ideas, about finding a teammate to build with, feel free to, come on here and chat more about the hackathon, your ideas, etc. These are also additional ideas from the Dora team that you can always take a look at. Come here for inspiration. Again, your ideas do not have to be limited to what's present on the hackathon page, but these act as a good inspiration for you to build. This was a basic overview of the hackathon page. When you're coming on here and submitting a project / registering as a hacker, you click on register as a hacker. So the difference between register as a hacker and submit build is you come on over here, register as a hacker, which is you subscribe to the updates of the hackathon. And then you can always later come on and submit your build when you're ready. You can also directly also submit your build if you're already ready. You want to, kick off the submission. So you click on submit the build. This says apply with an existing build or create a new build. For this hackathon, I'm assuming that, whatever dApps that you've built on, you might not have like an existing build on Dora Hacks, and you might want to create a new build with the Frax integration and all the requirements ticked off, like we mentioned. So you click on create a new build, and this is all the information that you would be putting into for your build to sort of, pop up in the drop-down section. This is the build name. So let's say I just name it as the Frax AMM, just as a example. This is the build logo that this is just a sample logo that I've put in. This is the vision. And make sure the vision captures what you're trying to do with the dApp. It should be like a short 3 to 5 worded sentence wherein you're able to really boil down your aim to a simple sentence. This is the build description. This is the place wherein you can, be more descriptive about what you're building, maybe talk about the tech a little, talk about the roadmap, the product, etc. I'll just put in a sample text for now. This is the category that you are building in. You can always drill down to more subcategories, but that's really optional. This is the GitHub repo URL if you want to put that down. This is the project demo URL. It's actually recommended that you have a product demo that you're putting in. You also have a demo video in order to really highlight the innovation that you've done on the dApp. This is the team information. If you're building in team, And solo hackers are welcome as well. But if you're building in team, feel free to, add in pointers and write about about your team members, their background, what their role in the build was, etc. This is an invite team member feature. For example, if I, as a build owner, I'm submitting the project, and I also want to grant, let's say, edit access to other members of my team, I can add in their email ID over here, and an email with an invitation to edit the build would be sent to their emails. This is the team recruiting feature. Let's say if you want to take the project further, if you're really serious about building and you want to onboard more builders, you can turn this on and write about your requirements. So whenever a builder comes on your build page, they can see that you're actually recruiting and they can reach out to you within the platform itself. This is the social link. We recommend you to add at least one link so it's easier for us to reach out to you. This is Telegram, also mandatory in order for us and the Frax team to be able to reach out to you. This is also an alternative contact for build verification. I'll just put in my Discord over here and just click on this checkbox and press submit build and back. So once you do that, you will be able to see your newly created build in the dropdown. Click on the newly created build, which is Frax AMM in my case. Select the track that you are applying for. Let's say for the AMM, I'll click on to the Fraxtal mainnet app, but be very careful of what you are applying to, because this would be the primary track that you will be submitting your build on. Select this, click on this checkbox and submit hackathon application. And yeah, there you go. You have successfully submitted your build to the Fraxtal Hackathon. Yeah, that's a pretty simple step-by-step process of how you need to do it. But in case you're confused at any step, feel free to also go on to this submission guide. This captures what we just spoke about, a step-by-step guide to how you want to register as a hacker / submit build, the fields that are necessary, the fields that are not. But yeah, even after that, if you have any other question, feel free to reach out to Dora Hacks Official on Telegram or me on Telegram. I'm at Mishika, MISHIKA 251. We'll be happy to assist you. And with regards to anything which is related to the technical documentation, the resources available for you to build, feel free to go on to the Frax Builders Telegram group, which is all the relevant links that you need to start building are present in the resource section over here. So this is really, your go-to place if you're stuck anytime. But yeah, that was like a simple, quick explanation of how you should get started on the Fraxtal Hackathon. Super excited to see what everyone has in store. And do not hesitate to reach out to us anytime that you feel you are stuck. We're really here to make it easy for you. And I'd like to thank Sam for all the support and the presentation. Sam, any closing thoughts on or any expectations that you have with this hackathon? Any words of motivation, anything that you want to take on to close it off?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. Awesome presentation on simply uploading everything and submitting everything by June 21st. We're really excited to see what everyone builds, and there's a lively group of Fraxtal builders already on the Telegram channel. People can also join the wider, obviously, Frax Finance community, both on Telegram, on Discord. Follow us on Twitter. We're very, very available. There's already people posting screenshots of what they're building in the Fraxtal Builders group. There's people finding other team members or hackers to team up with if you're solo or you want to add people to your team. It's going to be a really fun 3-4 weeks ahead, and we're super excited to see what people build. So thanks so much for joining, and thank you for Dora Hacks for hosting this with us. It's going to be a big one. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sam. Always happy to support ecosystems like Frax, who are really serious about the giving it back to the developers, encouraging them to build. But everyone, if you have missed any part of this, and if you want to revisit any part of the opening ceremony, feel free to go on to YouTube, Binance, or Bilibili and just revisit what we spoke about. Yeah, with that, I wish everyone good luck once again and keep building and breaking. Thanks a lot, Sam.